Imagine a world where you can create life-saving medicines as easily as editing a photo on your smartphone, where new proteins, the very building blocks of life, are designed, optimized, and tested in a fraction of the time it takes today, where the cure for cancer, the next generation of sustainable materials, or even the food on your table are brought to you not by human trial and error, but by the relentless intelligence of machines. This isn't the plot of a futuristic sci-fi movie. It's happening right now, and it's transforming biotechnology from the inside out. But with such mind-blowing power comes a critical question. Who controls this new era of creation? And what happens if, or when, things go wrong? Welcome to the era of generative AI in biotech, a revolution that is poised to not only change the way we treat disease, but to fundamentally rewrite the rules of biology, business, and even ethics itself. Let's rewind, just for a moment. For decades, drug discovery and the broader world of biotechnology have moved at a painstaking pace. Developing a new drug is a marathon, not a sprint. On average, it takes more than 10 years and over $2.5 billion to bring a single new therapy to market. Trial after trial fails, sometimes spectacularly, and often for reasons scientists can't quite explain. The process has always involved massive teams of researchers, mountains of data, and a healthy dose of educated guesswork. Enter artificial intelligence, the most potent tool science has ever added to its arsenal. More specifically, generative AI, a breed of algorithms that don't just analyze data, but create new possibilities the world has never seen before. It learns the language of biology, then speaks it back to us in the form of novel proteins, therapies, and materials. Take Cradle, for example, a Dutch-Swiss startup founded in 2021 and already a quiet powerhouse in the tech bio scene. Their platform is like Photoshop for proteins, a description their own co-founders use with a hint of pride. For scientists, this means they can now design and optimize proteins for entirely new functions with the help of a web-based platform powered by generative AI. In practical terms, Cradle's technology doubles the speed of most R&D projects, slashing timelines from years to months. Elise DeRose, Cradle's co-founder, sums it up. We want to enable scientists to do what was previously impossible by marrying AI with real-world lab experiments. And Cradle isn't alone. The pharmaceutical AI market is already worth billions, projected to soar to $16.5 billion by 2034. The competition is fierce, with giants and startups alike racing to develop AI that can design new drugs from scratch, repurpose old medicines for new diseases, or even predict how a patient might respond to a particular treatment. One breakthrough that sent shockwaves through the industry was DeepMind's AlphaFold, a program that can predict protein structures with unprecedented accuracy, solving a problem that has haunted biologists for half a century. Imagine unlocking the intricate origami of life itself, turning raw genetic code into 3D models that reveal potential new targets for drug discovery. Suddenly, the spatial mystery of proteins, once a dark forest, has been illuminated by AI's electric torch. But the story doesn't end at the computer screen. The most exciting and potentially unsettling aspect is how AI is being integrated with wet labs, the physical spaces where biology comes to life. Cradle, for instance, doesn't just spit out protein sequences. Its AI designs are tested, tweaked, and evolved side by side with real experiments using living cells. Each round of feedback makes the algorithm smarter, the designs more sophisticated, and the cycle faster. It's the harmony of machine learning and molecular biology, as one biotech CEO put it. This means drug development, once hamstrung by the constraints of time and human intuition, is now on the verge of becoming exponentially faster. By some counts, AI-discovered drugs entering Phase 1 clinical trials now boast success rates in the staggering range of 80–90%, as opposed to the industry's historical average of just 10 to 15%. All of this opens up possibilities far beyond medicine. AI isn't just creating treatments, it's helping design animal-free food alternatives, sustainable biodegradable materials, and even custom enzymes for industrial processes. Imagine a world where your plastic bottle degrades naturally in weeks instead of centuries, thanks to an AI-designed enzyme. So what's driving this breakneck acceleration? First, the data. Biotech is one of the most data-rich fields on the planet. Genomes, protein structures, clinical trial results, patient records, the list is endless. Generative AI excels at mining these vast hordes, sifting through patterns that would take humans a lifetime to unravel. It doesn't just find the needle in the haystack, it suggests entirely new kinds of needles. Second, the speed of iteration. As Elise DeRoos explains, with the right AI and feedback loops from the lab, a scientist can now test hundreds of designs in days instead of a handful in months. Third, the democratization of talent and tools. You don't have to be a biotech giant to innovate. With web-based tools like Cradles, smaller labs, startups, and even individual researchers can tap into generative AI. The result? An explosion of creativity, powered by technology previously locked away in the vaults of deep-pocketed pharmaceutical firms. But with great power comes great complexity, and frankly, concern. As David Latshaw from BioPhi bluntly asks, with new AI capabilities, what can we do today that we could not do before in pharma? It's a question that echoes from boardrooms to regulatory agencies, and it comes with both exhilarating and alarming implications. Let's look at the main conflict now emerging at the heart of this AI-biotech marriage, the clash between boundless innovation and the realities of regulation, security, and even morality. First, there's the issue of reliability and risk. Biology is not software. You can't just debug a protein the way you fix a line of code. Proteins are slippery, unpredictable, and sometimes dangerous. Regulators are scrambling to figure out how to oversee drugs and materials generated largely by autonomous algorithms. The traditional frameworks, built for the slow, stepwise world of human-driven research, are straining under the speed and complexity of AI-driven discovery. As Brigham Hyde, CEO of Atropos Health, puts it, AI simulations are important for de-risking a company's investment of resources in clinical trials. In other words, the stakes are higher, the gains bigger, and the falls potentially more catastrophic. Then, there's the looming specter of biosecurity. If AI can help create new life-saving proteins, what's to stop it from being misused to craft harmful biological agents? Tom Inglesby from Johns Hopkins urges, legal requirements for screening genome synthesis orders are critical for risk reduction. Safeguards are needed, but the pace of innovation threatens to outstrip our ability to regulate it. Margaret Kozel, a non-proliferation expert at Georgia Tech, warns, AI/ML can contribute to non-proliferation efforts, including in protein synthesis, but also introduces a new layer of risk. The same tools that accelerate healing can, in the wrong hands, accelerate harm. The challenge is not just technical, but deeply ethical. Who gets access to these tools? Will AI-driven personalized medicine be available to everyone, or only the wealthy and well-connected? What happens to data privacy as machine learning models comb through patient records and genetic information? And perhaps most fundamentally, can we trust machines with the power to shape the future of our species? Industry insiders are divided. Some see a golden age of medicine and materials. Others worry about a new arms race of biotech tools, a digital Wild West where the next crisis is just a misused algorithm away. As Ben Sitters at BioRelate puts it, AI in pharma may play out significantly in 2025 and beyond, hinting that the effects we're now only glimpsing may soon cascade through the global economy, reshaping industries, jobs, and even ethical norms. And so, we're left staring at the edge of a new frontier. Generative AI is rapidly becoming the architect of the biological world. It promises miracles, but could deliver nightmares if we're not careful. As we continue, we'll dive deeper into the real-world impacts, not just for patients and companies, but for society itself. Are we racing toward a biotech utopia, or are we on a collision course with unseen risks? And, with the lines between AI and biology blurring more each day, who will draw the boundaries before it's too late? As we peer into the future, the outlines of what's possible and what could go wrong are coming into sharp relief. Generative AI sits at the very center of a storm of innovation in biotech, with consequences that reach far beyond the lab. But who actually benefits from this AI revolution, and is anyone being left behind? Let's start with the most optimistic vision: unprecedented speed in discovering life-saving medicines. Imagine a world where identifying a promising new compound or re-engineering a protein for a rare disease takes days, not years. This isn't science fiction anymore. Startups like Cradle are already doubling the pace of R&D for some of the world's biggest pharma companies. With the pharmaceutical AI market expected to soar to $16.5 billion by 2034, this is just the tip of the iceberg. With new AI capabilities, what can we do today that we could not do before in pharma? Asks David Latshaw, lead at BioPhi. In the past, searching for a new drug meant screening millions of molecules by hand, a process that took years and enormous costs. Now, with AI-guided platforms, molecules can be designed and simulated virtually, narrowing down options in a fraction of the time. AlphaFold, DeepMind's revolutionary system, has already predicted the structure of nearly every protein known to science, opening doors that were, until very recently, firmly shut. The result? An explosion of potential therapies, not just for the common diseases, but for the rare, the neglected, even the previously untreatable. Cancers with no existing cure, genetic disorders that ravage children's lives, chronic illnesses like diabetes, where personalized medicine guided by AI could mean the difference between suffering and thriving. But this bright future comes with shadows. The same tools that supercharge discovery can also create risks we've scarcely begun to imagine. In the wrong hands, AI models designed for protein engineering could be repurposed, deliberately or accidentally, to design dangerous pathogens or toxins. As Tom Inglesby at Johns Hopkins warns, legal requirements for screening genome synthesis orders are critical for risk reduction. That means as AI hands researchers the power to design life, it's also giving would-be bad actors new tools for harm. We face a double-edged sword. The codes that heal could also be codes that kill. Margaret Kozel of Georgia Tech puts it bluntly: AI/ML can contribute to non-proliferation efforts, including in protein synthesis. But that demands vigilance, transparency, and above all, a willingness to act before, not after, a crisis emerges. And then there's the question of access. Who will share in these breakthroughs? The world's richest countries and largest companies are pouring billions into AI-driven biotech. But will poorer nations, public research institutions, or small patient communities be left out? When AI predicts the best therapy but only a few can afford it, or even access the technology at all, existing health disparities could widen, not shrink. Brigham Hyde from Atropos Health says, AI simulations are important for de-risking a company's investment of resources in clinical trials. This is a double win: faster, cheaper trials and fewer risks for patients. But there's a catch. Clinical trials are expensive and often focused on diseases that promise the biggest returns. What happens to patients with rare conditions, or those living in regions without robust healthcare infrastructure? Will AI bring them hope or leave them behind? To address these challenges, some experts advocate for global data sharing and new public-private partnerships. Open-source models and transparent reporting could democratize access to AI-powered tools. Training diverse datasets is essential. Otherwise, AIs trained only on Western or wealthy country data might miss crucial signals elsewhere. Regulation is another battleground. Governments and international bodies are rushing to catch up, but the pace of AI innovation is breathtaking. Tom Inglesby and others argue that safeguards on design tools are a better intervention point to deter state actors than simply restricting access. But building effective regulations without stifling positive progress is a delicate balancing act. Now let's talk about the human side, the practical benefit and lessons viewers can take away from this unfolding story. What does the AI biotech revolution mean for you or your family? First, the promise of better, faster, and more affordable medicines is becoming real. Drugs tailored to your unique genetic makeup. Treatments identified in record time, meaning years shaved off from waiting lists. Diseases once thought incurable may fall to the relentless logic of AI-powered discovery. If you're a patient, this could mean access to new therapies sooner, and, in the future, treatments specifically adapted to your genetic makeup or disease profile. Already, clinical trials using AI to create digital twins, virtual stand-ins for patients, are making it possible to test drugs more safely and with smaller trial groups. Companies like Unlearn are pioneering this approach, which could lower costs and bring treatments to market faster. If you're in the scientific or healthcare community, this is a time to double down on learning the tools of tomorrow. Familiarize yourself with how AI is being integrated into your field. Computational biology, data science, and machine learning skills are rapidly becoming essential for anyone wanting to participate in cutting-edge research. For those outside this biotech or medical fields, awareness is critical. The more society understands what AI can and can't do, the more effectively we can shape its growth and avoid its pitfalls. Whether you're a parent, a teacher, a policymaker, or a concerned citizen, staying informed means you can ask the right questions and support policies that put safety, equity, and ethics at the forefront. But don't just watch from the sidelines. Ask how your country is approaching the regulation of AI and biotech. Demand transparency from companies using AI in healthcare. Support organizations that work to close the health equity gap and push for open data initiatives in biomedical research. If you're a student or early career researcher, Now is the time to dive in. The skills you learn today, working with large language models, designing simulations, analyzing clinical data, will shape the future therapies and biotechnologies of tomorrow. Look for interdisciplinary programs that span AI, biology, and ethics. The world needs not just the brightest minds, but the most responsible ones. And what about the risks? It's vital not to be naive. The rapid pace of AI-driven biotech brings real threats: biohacking, privacy breaches, the possibility of new biological weapons. But these aren't reasons to panic. They're reasons to participate, to build stronger safeguards and advocate for smart, adaptive regulation. This brings us to the big finale and to the question that hung over everything from the very first moments of this story. Will society be able to control the power now unleashed by AI and biotech, or will we lose control? The honest answer? There are no guarantees. The technology is moving faster than most institutions, regulations, and even imaginations can keep up. But history shows that with vigilance, transparency, and cooperation, societies can channel disruptive technologies for the greater good. This means demanding that governments keep pace, both with investment and with oversight. It means holding companies accountable, not just for breakthrough therapies, but for clear reporting, security measures, and a commitment to making life-changing treatments accessible to all. It means insisting that ethical considerations are built in from day one, not tacked on as an afterthought. The secret fact most people don't realize is this: the real revolution in AI-powered biotech isn't just about faster medicines or even new types of therapies. It's about fundamentally changing who gets to participate in the creation of life itself. With open-source AI models, cloud labs, and global data, it's possible that the next great cure, the next sustainable material, or, yes, the next global biothreat, could come from a tiny startup, a university lab, or even a single brilliant teenager working anywhere in the world. That's both thrilling and a little terrifying. The genie is out of the bottle, but that just makes it even more important for all of us, scientists, citizens, and leaders alike, to pay attention and shape this revolution together. So what can you do next? Stay informed, get involved, and share this video with anyone who cares about the future of medicine, technology, or humanity itself. Subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the transformations shaping our world. And in the comments, tell us, are you excited, worried, or still skeptical about AI's impact on biotech? What questions should we be